All right, what's up, guys? How we doing? We are live. We are literally alive. Feels good. Genuinely grateful to be able to just wake up today. My legs are functioning. Able to put these lungs to work, put these legs to work, put the body in motion. Got to stay in motion. Love that I'm able to spend some time with you guys this morning, help you understand the markets better, get in position to make some income with the markets, pass some challenges, get funded, do all that good stuff, scale your personal accounts. So it is an absolute pleasure and an honor to be here. You know, we're here, Tradetopia Live. And as you guys know, my role here, my mission is to be able to give you guys pretty much raw, unfiltered perspective from the market and really what it takes from the trader's perspective, because just the markets itself, the charts themselves, your ability to interpret information, your ability to be able to position yourself in good quality probability, quality return situations is everything. And in order to do that, we do have to have a high level of discipline, of understanding, of awareness, maintain a good neutrality and expectation. So that's what we're really here to do. And sometimes it just takes reminders, some perspective, so that we're doing things the right way. And yeah, this is kind of the place, like the vibe for Tradetopia here and for myself is to kind of create a world. Like here's where you walk into a world where you are building your freedom one trade at a time. And that's kind of the big thing, is like you got to remember to just be here. So don't bring in the past. Don't bring in how many days, weeks, months, years you've been doing this. So let's trade now. All right. Well, welcome in, everybody. I see we got people rolling through. Just making one last check in here. Here we go. And we're good. All right. So this is the second to last stream for the week. And let's see what's going on. So, okay. Quick recap with our yen trade. Whether you're trading this on futures or you're trading this with USD JPY with currencies, CFDs for forex, my forex traders here. I had a classic screenshot curse moment yesterday. We were pumping right into here, and I think I sent an update on the trade, and I was like, all right, guys, we're still rolling smooth. And then, of course, that was the high. My stop loss management is right here right now. Actually, let me double check that. Yeah, it's like right. I think it's right here, actually. And the reason being was, as I looked at this setup, my thoughts were, okay, we could want to rebalance this. So if it does come into this imbalance, we can kind of survive that, and then we'll see where it goes from there. As of right now, it did that. So either coast is clear and we rally, we continue. Market decides to continue taking the high, filling imbalance, or that's it. And then, take home a little something, but it is what it is. Right now it's out of my hands. So that's all set. Yesterday, let me turn this off. Silver's hitting our zone. And yeah, so we have a few things getting into our area. So let's get right in there. Let's tackle on the high stakes situations. Whoa. Silver going crazy. So silver had, oh right, that's right. That's why I didn't trade this. Silver had already rejected this zone yesterday, or London session. So if you look over here, silver dropped off pretty substantially. You see a nice sell-off right there. And same thing with the move to the upside over here. So we had about a 60 pip push up, and then here we had that exchange for 60 pips or so. So this, for me, is an example of mitigation, because clearly money comes in to push market higher. Money comes in to push market lower. So for that reason, I don't end up taking this position. This is a part of my trading system. At the end of the day, we're trading the exchange of money. So why does the market come down and up this way? That's what matters. So right now, to me, it looked like we already played out of here, and there's no need to get into this again. So this was the exchange from buyers to sellers. So this would have missed our entry, and then now it's making its move. What I'm curious to seeing is how's gold trading. And look at gold. Gold is way less aggressive right now. Gold is like just kind of chilling. And gold has some liquidity up here as well. So we might see gold clear these highs. Maybe it wants to play into here or something. I'm not necessarily looking to trade anything here, but just keeping my eye on this. And then silver here, just doing its thing. Now, silver kind of set up a trade here. On CFD, it hasn't hit the zone yet. Really? Huh. Okay, let me look at something. So silver futures definitely has. And then if you look at CFDs, CFDs is trading significantly different. I base my setups off of futures, since CFDs pull their data and then they set their structure however they feel like it. So if you look at silver, whether it's here, you see the gap up and the drop. So this is how I would play this with silver, whether it's, and you can take any currency, any broker. You're right. This is trading way higher over here. The gap, like the market just overall is not trading anywhere near as bullish. So, I mean, I wouldn't take it. Like, I'm just not dealing with that, but it is what it is. Cool. So that kind of puts us towards gold. Gold over here. Gold looks a bit more like what we see on CFDs. The gap up, the market trades into here. Here we see the sweep. The market pulls back. A little pullback here. Continuation. So I could see us maybe reject this zone. But these are all just mid setups overall. The idea that I was looking at was the possible buy scenario here with silver. Because silver here trades all the way down with the news that we had this morning, unemployment claims. So unemployment claims kind of dips the market down for silver and then rips. Now, the market goes up and down so fast here with silver that I wouldn't necessarily force. Like this is not a higher high to me, despite it going higher. But this is a higher high, but it's not bullish structure because this isn't really structure. Something that goes up and right back down doesn't seem stable to me. So unless we come back up again and we keep trading, then sure. But there is a potential setup here. We might have something here later. I'll follow up with this idea. This is not something that's like set in stone yet. And then gold didn't quite do the same. Actually created more liquidity with gold over there. All right, so that's a quick dive into metals. Bitcoin all-time highs yesterday. That was pretty cool. Who's up on their crypto portfolio? So we poked right above all-time highs. Just a little tap. Little tap right there. And then it made its thing. Okay. We still haven't gotten to indices, which is crazy. NGQ. So natural gas. Remember we were talking about the zone, was it 2 days ago? It tapped into the zone, and then I don't know if any of you guys traded this. I didn't take anything here. And then I was looking for possible plays here, but natural gas now in the zone, in the selling zone. Biggest win today because of you. Really amazing. Congratulations. Which one? I'll look at currencies in a bit. Buenos dias todos. Morning, guys. Let me say what up to y'all. I know I just kind of dove in here. Amy, what's up? Omar, Sen, Seth, Luis. Welcome. Tarantino, what's up, bro? Give it all you got. Puccini with the energy. Number one, got the crown right now. What's up? What's up? We're all in. These are the vibes. Yes, sir. Good to be back in the lab. What's up, Michael? Good to see you, man. Mateo, DeAndre, Ruben, what's up? Lindsay, Edwin, Omar. Hey, shout out to all you guys making the sacrifices, structuring your day to be here, be present. What's up, Brandon, Hector? Little cousin on here. What's up, my G? All right, so natural gas. Yeah, looking for shorts here. I want to short a little bit higher. Hugo, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué me dices, hermano? Got Mexico in here. We got all over the U.S., Europe. Represent. Drop your flag in the chat. Who do we got in here? So my trade here for NGQ, MNG, if you're trading micros, that's probably what you want to do. So my short looks something like this. I would want to see a play out of here. Conservatively, you can trade within this imbalance, literally just off of current intraday. Depending on how much volume you can see today, there is a pretty good chance we can take on this liquidity. So we'll see what kind of reaction we get. Best case, I like a 6.75 R here. So there it goes. It just tapped into it now. Let's go. So if you are getting ready for this trade, definitely run it up. My accounts are not loading, which is... There we go, finally. All right, MNGQ, or yeah, MNG. So right now we're getting a nice play out of this zone. Hopefully you guys are able to kind of get your way into this trade. All right. Let's see. So the further we go down, we need a certain amount to put this really to move stops into profit and all that good stuff. So the way I have it set up, right here, we have our entry, or this is the smart money buy. So we see it pump up here. So this is how much we see to the upside. You see it goes up like 2.5 cents. And now what we want to see is this drop about this amount. So we get it down like right around here. When the market does that, and I think we're already seeing the signs that money is coming in. So the further we can see this push to the downside, the more proof we have that this play can continue. So even now, already you should be sitting at right around a 1-to-1. And this is exactly on the entry. Did anyone have time to get into this? technically we haven't mitigated fully, so we still could. So this is what we have going on right now with natural gas. I'll give you guys the updates on a trade like this. All right, here we go. New York Open. It looks like it's kicking in a bit more volume as well on this trade here. So what I really want to see is this get to 3.276, 275-ish. And then that I'll move my stop to break even. Right now, I'm just kind of gonna let it do its thing. Okay, now let's get into indices. I know this is what we're really waiting for. Yesterday, during Asian session, we had the market get really, really close to that zone that we were waiting for. So this is what we wanted. Yesterday, remember, there was two things. One, we had the buy react out of our zone. So we saw the market go into profit about 38 points or so with NQ. So if you did take this trade, you should have seen 2R, a little over 2R on the buy. It was a very tight stop. So if you were a 2R trader, you actually should have hit some profit here. Otherwise, if that is not you, and you had a more variable like myself, then this didn't end up giving us the trade, the TP. So now this didn't hit TP for me. Ended up just going break even. And then we see the push down. So I still see an idea over here. I'll get into this later. And what we're seeing now, so zooming in a little more. Remember yesterday where we saw, and I basically broke it down to a T, the sweep to the upside, the intention behind the push to the upside was to liquidate sellers, trap buyers. We can determine this based on the lack of demand. In my opinion, this is not a bullish structure. This turned out to be really, really accurate. It didn't give us the entry right away, which was really unfortunate. It ended up coming back way later, talking about Asian session. And the market where I wanted to buy was a little bit higher, but it came into where the market pumped up, came back down. So if you look, here is where we started to see the market really take off and clear the last set of sellers, and then the market saw the reversal. I wanted an entry in the imbalance in here, but this played out right kind of just in this structure. So this could still play out. We still might see the market short out of here because there is still that imbalance. So there is still a chance that we see a setup from here. So there's a possibility. And I'm going to go over a few different ideas, a few different theories I have here with indices in general. And I'm going to zoom out because there's a couple things that are happening now. And what we're seeing is that we're not really holding the highs and we're not really holding the lows. So I think we're going to have the best bit of success. And I'm actually going to go 1 hour on here so we can see it very clearly. A couple key things. So knowing where we're at in the week, right? This is second to last day of trading. Also pull up NASDAQ. Okay. Here's the high of the week so far. Here's the low of the week, which we already got past. We already got below once. So now we already cleared liquidity, big time liquidity here one time. And then we saw it give us this right there. So this is now the new low of the week for Dow Jones. This is now very efficient as well. And we've played out of here very smoothly. So this is looking like potential accumulation. Yesterday, the market failed in making a higher high here. So we can't say, oh, higher high, the structure is fully bullish. Not quite. Close, but not quite. When the market drops down to this zone as well, what do we have happen here? Here we're in situations where the market could, we clearly don't have lower lows either. So we're in a range right now where there's very little demand below 44,750, and then there's not a lot of demand below 44,575. So we're kind of just in this range. Similar, you've seen it pretty often. Okay. We know that there's imbalance here. At some point, we'll probably work our way over to there. But we know that overall, the market is eaten up when it gets below 44,570-ish. Like every time it dips down, end of day, it likes to come right back up. That we know. When we look at NASDAQ similarly, it's making higher lows, much better than Dow. Higher lows. And then even throughout New York session yesterday, we spiked up, cleared all-time highs here. So we cleared that. Came screaming back down. Does not trade into London session lows, so it's still chilling over here. NASDAQ definitely has incentive to work its way lower, whether to trade into Wednesday's London sessions or to trade into yesterday's New York session, like small time frame setup. So NASDAQ right now, as we zoom out a little bit more, we're more bullish. Higher time frames, more bullish. Okay. Now, beyond that though, for us, that gives us the perspective on, okay, where can the market go? What's the bigger picture? So I feel like Dow Jones is going to want to come into here, and we'll probably see Dow flip into more of a bullish structure at some point over NASDAQ. Great. NASDAQ, meanwhile, is trading pretty high. It's pretty efficient. It might start to give us a different type of price action today. So now, when we look at today's price action, so in the moment, what are we seeing right now? Right now, we're seeing Dow Jones way more bullish to kick things off. So we're seeing New York session, really bullish. New York open, pops up, comes back down. Great. Very bullish. New York open. We have the London session lows right here. So anyone, buys basically are in profit for the most part. So London low. Okay. Now we can go and compare this to NASDAQ. NASDAQ, on the other hand, is showing us a different picture here. NASDAQ pumps with New York open up into this structure. So we get into the, all-time high structure. But as of now, as we worked our way higher, this cleared liquidity. That seems to be the intention here. Take out sellers, lure in buyers, and just rip back to the downside. Beautiful. The market has basically London Asian lows over here, right over here. So these are the lows of the day. That means that the majority of anyone buying NASDAQ, whether futures, CFDs, it doesn't matter, lows of the day. So we know that there's buyers. We know that there's liquidity in this range, especially because it's been consolidating like this. Right now, the setup that looks interesting to me is this one. We saw New York open, kick the market off. So I saw an intentional push to the upside right there. Market takes out the highs. We see a very bullish open. And then it comes screaming down. So what I would love to see is for NASDAQ to really confirm the sells here. Really give us these lower lows. This would be the most ideal scenario here. That would qualify a sell for me if we were to get something like this. So we get something like this. We keep trading lower. Whatever. Then this short looks really good. We can sell right into this zone. And then from there, we could probably target Conservatively, the imbalance here. If not, or if you're feeling a little bit more aggressive, then you can take it even further. Obviously, this comes down to then personal choice here. So let's see. Let's wait it out. Meanwhile, we have Dow over here. So for selling scenarios, because you can usually get one or the other on a daily basis. Sometimes both. You can pin the high, pin the low. Not here to limit anybody. So I like to set my alerts at highs and lows of the days, of the week, session highs and lows, etc. And we'll wait it out. So, and price action can shift. So just like right now, we're seeing this happen. Check it out. We're seeing a lot of choppiness here with Dow. Here, down and up and down and up. So we might just get back up into this range. Maybe we clear these highs some more. We get a totally different scenario. We'll see. All right, we'll see what this looks like. As of right now, Dow is pushing. It started to take over. Pushing pretty bearish. This is giving Dow, it's kind of now staying below here. So we want to see this if it's going to maintain or not. I'm not looking to buy or anything here. Don't really see the setup. Same thing goes for NASDAQ. NASDAQ over here, I don't really look to take anything here unless we get a lot lower. So yesterday during New York, we had a nice little dip right there. And then it pumped. We could see a little bounce right here. I'm cool with that. I could take a trade there. Otherwise, we go further than that. So we have macro setups and micro setups. So we're not even macro. But we have like intra-week setups or intraday setups. Some that would be closer to the lows of the week or the high. The lows of the week. The lows of the week. And we have other ideas here. So these would be if we continue to work lower. Otherwise, sells look good here. Starting to look like it could form right there. So we're getting more and more demand below the low. We're starting to see that, for the last, 9 minutes or so. Price is trading below the previous low. Decent. Quick update here, and we'll keep our eye on this. I'll have an alert here. If it starts to crack above, gets closer, then I'll be ready. Update on natural gas. So after we saw the quick drop here, then we've been chopping up a little bit. It's a little bit of chop, not quite the full move yet. So I'm just doing nothing, just letting this ride, holding on. Holding on right now. All right, we can leave this. Just leave this cool. Leave it chilling. Let me go to the chat. You guys have any questions? Any thoughts? How you guys feeling on indices? Did you already talk about potential gold sell? Tobias, what setup do you see? Top Step not loading for me. Yeah, it took me a minute. I had to refresh a few for my Top Step account. What's up, Daniel? How are you? I would have passed my whole combine. Damn. Didn't take it. Currently trading futures and the spread is nuts. Spread on futures? Oh, it's CFDs. Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? Is top sign down? Yeah, it wasn't loading for me. I've sent a gold idea. Could happen quite soon. Let's check it out. All right. We got new here. Where's your trade on gold? Or is it is it in here? There it is. What's up, Tobias? Gold sell. Unless it's silver having a bit more potential to go higher to mitigate. Generally, I'm not trading gaps. That's why I'm not taking sells in silver consideration. Okay. No gaps trading. You see the sweep and the push down. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's good. I like it. Okay, so the Nasdaq potential sell is looking better and better as we have time here roll through. Guys, appreciate you all for liking the stream, subscribing, sharing it. I've been seeing you guys are sharing the community too to other people. That's been really cool to see. Love to see that. All right, so that was your thoughts on gold. Cool. Let's go review gold again because we did take a look at it briefly. Right now, looks like building up some liquidity. There does seem to be a bit of a difference between futures charts and gold charts. Like metals, CFDs, and futures here. So, for example, your chart, which you see the push to the upside here, and the push down. This is from the 8th, sometime, I think, during New York Open. So, like right here, it looks a lot different on futures charts. Here looks more like liquidity. This is the idea that I think you're looking at. Maybe. Let me know. Let me know, Tobias. Yeah, for futures on silver on futures already looked like it mitigated, so I didn't take anything with silver. So here is the push to the upside. The market kind of chops up. Over here, I think, is the idea. All right, let's go take a look at oil. Toss up is still down. Went back up for like a second. Looked like I snuck in there because I'm okay. On top steps is good. Apex is fine. Other things are cool. Thieves, man, doing maintenance when it's New York Open. Yeah, it's a pretty head ass situation there for sure. Okay. Let's go look at some oil. Some energy. Energy. All right. Yeah, we're getting closer. Oh, we are getting closer over here. All right. So I am curious about something here. I like the buy. I still do. The fact that we basically started to distribute right here is interesting. Very interesting. This right here is set up in a really interesting way. So look at how we had oil pump here. Took out sellers, crashes back down, and obviously continues to move its way back down. So this is really, really interesting, fascinating. It might be worth taking some partials on oil here. But yeah, we're getting closer to oil. Keep that in mind. I'll look at dollar pairs here in a second. I'm not quite there yet. All right, oil. I do have oil alerts, so this one we still have. And then I'd say if you want to ever take partials or anything, this either or just take your full profit. I would understand doing that there too. This could be possible sell zones. Our stop is pretty tight with this one. It's a pretty good stop, so this would still give you a pretty good risk reward, anyways. So either conservative exit / take partials zone. All right, let me write up today's Tradetopia trades. You guys been staying in tune with these? These have been hitting pretty well. All right, we got oil. There you go. And here we go. So oil, I got a little bit of time before this one triggers. And then this is updating through New York sesh. Okay, there you go. You guys have that now. I'll pin this one. I think I can pin it. Yep. Perfect. All right, let's get an update here. Indices, we have inverse correlation today. So NASDAQ down, Dow is going up. Okay. We had that was a silver alert, right? So let's go look at metals again. And silver tapped into, look at this, right into this zone. So before I do anything there, let's take a look at gold. So gold is already trading below. So this may make sense. Gold is getting below the liquidity that it had built up and is trading in this imbalance right there. Okay. Meanwhile, silver just tapping into this zone. It actually already did here. And it went up like 6.5 cents or so. The drop here was a little bit more than that. So silver here is obviously a tight zone. If you look at gold, it looks like gold is trading relatively efficiently, but gold also still has more liquidity. Tight zone, but silver buys are a possibility here. How do you guys feel about silver buys at this point? You'd have to be acting very quickly if you are in consideration of a buy here, and it just also depends on your market, or like if you're able to even open, because charts are definitely not opening up quickly with Top Step. So I can't take this on Top Step, which is fine, I guess. It is what it is, out of my control. Let's see. It could take this with other accounts though, so that's fine. What? Say G. All right, so I just took this setup. Mitigation would be the market getting to like right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this pumps a little bit higher, then stops to break even, and call it and then just let it ride. Oh, there you go. Now silver wants to work. Thanks, dude. Let's see, where am I in structure? I'm a little bit out of my zone. I'm not going to enter this now. All right. So basically, trade on silver here. It was delayed relative to gold. Like it was dropping at a slower pace. I ended up getting in right around there. And then as of now, this is still not quite mitigated. I think we could take this at least up to here, and that would be well over a 3R. All right. So now we're seeing mitigation on here. At this point, tighten stop or stop to break even. So no need to have extra risk on the board here. So stops to here. Okay. I'm going to come back to this here in a second. I did have that NASDAQ alert go off here. So NASDAQ already, look at this, already clearing the low of the day of this trading day. So it took out London Asian session lows, and it's now trading closer to this area. Wow. Quick moves down. Trading all the way down to here. Interesting. Since NASDAQ right now is significantly trading differently than what we're seeing with Dow, these are moving in completely opposite directions. When we see the market do this, what happens is that these can go in, they're kind of almost trading independently. So sometimes you'll see like the high of Dow become, and then it's like the low of NQ, and then they kind of reverse back to meet in the middle. That's how these can play out. So just in case you guys ever had any sort of a perspective there. So look at this. Dow is now playing into the zone that I wanted to sell yesterday. Here, meanwhile, we're seeing NQ getting below these areas and getting closer to this mitigation zone that I had over here for the buy. So these are kind of lining up now, pretty much on point. NQ basically still building more liquidity. I think NQ can drop a little bit more. So it seems like reversals here are probable soon. I want to see if NQ clears this kind of all this support over here. I'm not selling here. No estoy vendiendo aquí nada. I'm not selling. My big consideration with this idea, and the reason I'm not, is if I feel like NQ is going to push down further and then reverse, then I would rather take this buy where there's a clear mitigation, rather than just this idea here. Here we see a big move to the upside. I went break even on silver, by the way, guys. Here, as soon as this came up, it came right back down. So trade's over. Call it a day. Okay. All right. NASDAQ now in the zone. And NQ. Look at that. NQ here. In this area, we have now Dow. Funny enough, Dow now is dropping with NASDAQ. So I wonder if NASDAQ's just going to bleed through all this. Look at that. Now Dow's like, okay, cool. Yeah, we took out the highs. We're chilling. Now we're going to work our way down. That's so interesting. Look at how they're aligned now. Price action. Now they're on the same page. Funny how that goes. So if you did take Dow, looks like you're seeing some profit. NASDAQ now is rejecting beautifully out of the zone. But, why would I be in this trade, at least with my Top Steps accounts? Of course not. Why would it want to let me take any trades today? That's great. So, yeah, And Q doing its thing. This is mitigation, guys. So either move your stops to reduce your risk or move it to your entry. Same thing with Dow. Dow reacting really well. So move either your stops to the high or honestly go break even. So both of these, as we can see right now, are rejecting really well both sides of the coin. So you're seeing good rejection on both ends. We're seeing NASDAQ come back down very quickly. Dow here holding its structure a little bit better, it looks like. So I wonder if Dow is going to be giving a pretty good trade here. So look at how fast NASDAQ is coming back down. So here you should have ended up break even. You have to be able to respond to these type of trades quickly. So as fast as they react, they give you a lot of movement. So this went up, 10, 20 points and comes right back down. So you have to be ready to protect your money. Otherwise, if you're not quick to adapt, then you're done for. At this point, it feels like we could still. Oh, nice! I think you're getting maybe a play out of here, but you can clearly see NASDAQ is still dropping aggressively, but Dow is no longer pushing up higher. So it looks to me like we're gonna see Dow end up shorting here soon. Now we have NASDAQ that got below New York session lows with this move down to here. So again, the key things that I am seeing here is I do think we're going to get reversals on both ends. And we see NQ work its way back up to here. This has already been mitigated. Work its way back up, whether it's to these lows or over here. And then that should pull Dow down as well. Okay, so these are a couple these were quick trades. Got the mitigation, stops to break even or reduce risk. So this one ends up in a wash for me. So, all right, cool. Done with that. And then we have energy here still chilling, squeezing. So big move coming here soon. If I remember correctly, let's look at the calendar. Let's look at energy here. And so within the next 30 minutes, we have natural gas news. So that'll be fun. All right. Now we've seen, successful clearance of New York session liquidity playing into London session lows. Or just inside of London session. Big sweep. Okay. Took care of yesterday's buyers. Now we're starting to see it eat it up. So remember, if you're ever looking to, for example, when you're thinking about, can I trade what we call like the shakeout setup, right? Can I trade something like that? You want the market to target first and foremost, like zones that have a high amount of liquidity. So not just like every little move that it clears, like every little bit of liquidity. That's not really the mission. The goal is to focus on where there's a lot of money. So taking out, for example, one session's liquidity, that's like an entire session's worth of liquidity, that's valuable. But in this example, Nasdaq drops down and it takes out New York lows from yesterday, goes right back up, but then immediately comes back down. So this isn't showing us like, oh yeah, no, there's no demand here. No. This is showing us, yeah, no, the price is competitive here. There's demand right there. So if there is still demand here, that means that, okay, there wasn't enough liquidity to keep pushing the market higher. So what probably happens next? These imbalances. Imbalance here, and that could take us to the low that I was waiting for yesterday, which is over here. So this could still be a possibility, whether we play into this imbalance and then see reversals, or we're going to trade over here. So both is definitely still options. With NQ, would I want to buy just because there's imbalance? Not really. Is everyone here, for those of you that trade Top Step, are you guys not able to do anything right now? Yeah, I can talk about GU. I'll get there. I set a limit on natural gas on top and it kicked you out. Silver price action traded on CFD. Yeah, I know. We talked about silver and it's what it's doing. CFDs versus futures. Either way, futures more. It's actual market price. So why did natural gas kick you out? Now it's kick me break even. Yeah, I wonder why. Set a limit on natural gas on top and it kicked me out. I can't even tell. I'm trying to look at it, but I can't even see it. I think it might have done that for me too. I feel like it might have taken me out too, because I don't see the pending anymore. Let's see, orders, accounts, positions, orders. Let's see here. MNG. Oh, no. Okay, I'm still in there. I see. All right, yeah, it still has me in. Okay. All right, now NASDAQ pulling into imbalance here. Reversals are now definitely possible. Meanwhile, we're still within this structure. So Dow Jones holding this zone way better. So Wednesday's high right over here. Still trading within the area. The Dow hasn't gone up anywhere as nearly as aggressive as NASDAQ's going down. Okay, there we go. So now we're seeing some key levels. So now we've subbed New York lows. Now we've gone into imbalance, played into this structure. Okay. So here, now we're in business. So something like this, like with NQ, where we have cleared tons of liquidity, all of these lows. You know, when you have higher lows like this, stops are placed below these lows. Stops are placed below these lows. Stops are placed below these lows. So the market's sweeping this. Okay. So now, if we were to see strong levels like the market trade up here we have a whole bunch of resistance. Here's the previous support, can function as resistance. So now if the market keeps trading like this and then we see a move down, okay, this is one of those moments where we can catch a decent trade. So here's where, like, if we kept trading up here and we kind of built up some resistance and then all of a sudden we see the dip down, which is people that are selling, they get the break and retest. This lures in sellers. That's when we would take our buys and then ride it out. Ride it into the sunset. But we need the demand. We need to see proof that, okay, market is dismissing price down here and that there's more demand at higher levels. That's what we would need first. So yeah, this has potential here with NQ. Now that it's swept up so much. And honestly, Dow obviously has way more. This might be the moment where we actually end up. So let's say we pull back down and then we start pulling up. So NQ ripping to the upside, they might get back on the same pace, like on the same price action. And it makes sense because then now Dow could pull and rebound over here. So we might not see one of the typical like, oh, markets they kind of end up meeting back. Zach, because at the end of the day, price action is more than anything doing higher time frame stuff. I think higher time frames is the whole point. It's the big picture. So if we look at the big picture here, right now, overall, NASDAQ is still more bullish than Dow. Relative. So here were the lows from Friday, over here. Here are the lows from Friday. So Dow is still trading below the lows from Friday at the moment. Like it's basically there right now. While NASDAQ is still trading higher. NASDAQ is trading well above the higher lows because of how bullish yesterday it was. Like Dow hasn't even approached the imbalance, hasn't even gotten close to the high of the week, while NASDAQ already made new highs for the week. So I do think it looks like we're going to end up coming back down. Like we could end up coming back down and then getting a buy entry and then riding this out. So let's see. No alerts yet on oil, which is fine. We don't need more to manage. Now, I know you guys were asking about GU, and it looks like, I think the question was like, how would you have known the drop? I had the direction, but I didn't have the drop. Well, one thing you want to just keep in mind is you're not going to catch every move, one, and not every movement is what allows you, like, are you able to get in? So how could you have anticipated a drop? Well, liquidity, number one. So the market created typical trend line here. So you see, liquidity buyers, more buyers, just retail buying trend line. So this is a sign that at some point it's going to break through. And then we had the squeeze here. So great. There you go, GU. And then it worked its way down. So entries for GU, I wouldn't have gone in either. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a trade here. Not on. Nah, I mean, this is creating equal highs, liquidity. Not really. Like, it kind of pumps above here, but then makes more highs. I wouldn't have traded this either, to be honest. Yeah. It is trading near the lows from Tuesday. So I wonder if there's maybe buy opportunities with something somewhere. Euro clearing the lows. Okay, I mean, Euro did give a setup. Euro, I could understand if you traded Euro. Where are we at? Okay, Euro. So right now we're seeing Dow take out the high. Okay. NASDAQ still moving sideways. Okay. But Euro gave this. So there's kind of two interesting ideas here. Euro takes out these highs and then drops. Let me just, honestly, I need to just set this up for futures because this is a lot easier and it's more precise. So you had two ways of looking at this. One, where we're still waiting on a sell out of this zone up here. Then we saw Euro Tuesday, London session, clear some sideways movement, liquidity, and then work its way down. When the market pushes down, now you don't see a new lower low. So I understand if you wouldn't want to take this. The 5 minute, like if we're looking smaller time frame structure, this went from making higher highs to making lower lows. So when you see structure like this, and this is just creating more and more liquidity too, so you have a lot of sideways movement. What we start to see is in a situation like this, what you can work on a bit more is your exit. So you could target either liquidity, lows, whatever. So this I could understand if you wanted to short this, would have been a pretty decent short. I would have probably taken this to maybe like right here. Since just like we were seeing low demand over here, there's a chance that it wasn't going to break through. And then we see like, for example, with Australian, it's really struggling to go down. So it does reverse alongside, because, basically what we see here is that the last few hours, we're seeing the dollar pick up strength. So that's what pushes Euro down, GU down, and it does push NZD down as well, just not as much. So all of these are seeing those types of reversals, just not as aggressively. So if, let's say you wanted to buy something. Well, actually, let me ask you. If you looked at Australian dollar, Euro, GU, NZD, USD, out of these four, and just not even considering price action or anything, and just looking at structure, which one would you be more keen to buy? NZD, USD, GU, Euro, or AUD USD? Just looking at structure. Which one gives you probably the best opportunity? So let me see the chat. Stream is choppy? Stream is choppy. It is choppy. Why is it choppy? You know what? Hold on. Let me see something here. Sound is stream gone bad. Damn. That's sad. Bit rate is lower than the recommended. Why are you lower? Alright. Sound is lagging. Not choppy anymore. Interesting. I don't really know why it would be. Okay. Give me a sec. The entire internet. It's one of those days. Maybe. All right. 1 second. All right. So, yeah, the frames are dropping like crazy. I think it's better. All right. So, yeah, if we looked at these, because of structure, and you're looking at buys, so I'm not saying you're going to buy right now. That's not the point. But I'm saying if there was going to be a buy setup, what would be the one with the most opportunity? And it would be Australian dollar. Now, why? AUD USD so far, so the Australian is just giving you higher highs. It's giving you better structure in this way. That's why. You know, if you're not seeing it drop as aggressive, look at Euro is dropping so much. GU is dropping as well. NZD also fell, not anywhere near these lows, but it did come down. Whereas Australian, as much as it went down, it's not staying down. So I'm not saying we're going to buy now. No. That's not my point. But this has the best chance of a buy later. And it looks to me like we could see a buy somewhere over here. Maybe we get a buy over here. This I don't love either, but might get a bounce in this, take a conservative move. But we'll get into that. I'll look at this here in a second. We just had an alert go off. So we are getting even closer to natural gas news. But on the bright side, based on the way that we're already seeing momentum, natural gas is giving us this sell-off already, which is nice. So we're starting to see this work its way down. So moving the stop, we really sniped this one. So if you got the absolute top, I think moving stops to break even or reducing your risk is a fantastic idea at this moment. No reason to continue having the same amount of risk. At least I won't. With news coming, of course, there's always that chance that maybe the news wants to come up again, take out the highs or something, and then drop. It's a possible, considering that there is a little bit of an imbalance in here. So if you're thinking, you know what, I would rather just have my full stop with the news, cool, totally get it. If you're more on the conservative side, or you want to follow your system to a bit more effectively, then reduce your stop. This is just my rule though. That's just how I manage my stops. Like, clearly money came in here, pushed the market up. I wanted to see, okay, well, will the market push it? Are we going to see the exchange of money? Which now we have seen that we got that. So tightening up stop for me makes sense. And then we'll have news here in about 5 to 6 minutes. Meanwhile, we have indices. Here has been basically the range with NQ. So like I mentioned earlier, I am interested in, I kind of want to see if we get some buys here. And we went down quickly. Price didn't stay here. Came right back up. So we saw it work its way higher. And right now we've been kind of starting to create, this range up and down and up and down. So this starts to, lure in sellers, candles like this, moves like this. So I'm curious if we get below here, could be kind of where the buy zone is. And again, the whole intention behind, what did I just do? Look at this. As soon as it came down, it came right back up. So we see the sweep to the downside. We see the market pump up here. And then now NQ is coming back where we've seen all the support. So this is a pretty much textbook break, retest. Right now, I think we're luring in buyers for we're luring in sellers on NQ. This is where I think you could get some reversals. So right around this zone. I think we got a shot here. We'll see. What I don't love about price action today overall is just how different Dow and NQ are trading. Because now, okay, if Dow wants to drop, like, okay, is Dow going to just drop and fill all this imbalance? And is that going to just keep pushing NASDAQ lower? So if you are like looking at both of these and you're like, I'm not really sure what the market wants to do, honestly, you're better off just not even trading. You're going, you know what? I'm just not going to deal with any of this nonsense. So if that's how you feel, because you wouldn't have conviction with your decisions, then you want to follow that. If you're like, whether it's an emotional decision, whether it's a technical decision, it's not as clear as you would want it to be, then definitely follow those. Follow that. If it's emotional, then you can question yourself and go, how would I allow this? How could this become a non-emotional decision? Is this something that's in my control? Am I worried about, am I risking too much? Am I risking too little? Am I worried about the previous trade, etc.? So those are the things that you can keep in mind. Like I took a buy here. So I did buy. Like I said I was going to. If it ranged and then dropped into these lows, I said I was going to take it. So I am in the buy. I'm in right here. Doesn't mean I'm going to win. Could. And then kind of just ride this out. We'll see where we go with this. But with an idea like this one, I want to see, how things, what happens. Again, right now we're starting to see that there's still very little demand here, especially if we can break through these highs, then we're golden. But the fact that we dropped all the way down to here, bounced already, usually a good sign. Let's see. We got that natural gas news in about 90 seconds or so. It's already pumped back up to here. Because as soon as it came back down, it came right back up. So I have my stop here. So this got actually pretty close to stopping me out at break even. So either it'll just clear it, call it a day, or it'll just push it down and maybe things will get better. Okay, this is good. This looks nice. Natural gas, maybe this continues. And then NASDAQ, okay, working its way up too. Cool. That may take Dow to higher levels as well. All right, let's see it. About 30 seconds out from natural gas news. I'll finish up my analysis with the majors here in a bit as well. Okay. Seconds out. Let's see. Nope. Said, fuck your trade. And I think it might have slipped me out too. Unfortunate. Let me double check. So this just blasted through. So it should have been basically risk-free. Instead, thank you. Let's see what this looked like. So let's see. The trade, what was the outcome of this order? Where is this position? MNG. Wow. Yeah, this definitely did not do what it needed to do. So I'll tell you guys, at least I'll give you a couple different perspectives with this. Where did it actually end up taking me out? On the bright side, and NASDAQ still ripping, sweet. So this will make up for bullshit slippage. About 15, 16 point stop. I'm gonna ride this out because I think Dow's gonna fill a whole bunch of this, and I think that's gonna keep pushing NASDAQ to also rebalance. So right now with NASDAQ, I am risk-free. Okay, so instead of taking me out at my stop, it took me out 311. Okay, actually that wasn't bad. Didn't take me out where it was supposed to, but it did do this. So this is where I ended up getting taken out on natural gas. It took me out like right over here. This is apparently where I got filled. So instead of taking me out here, it took me out over here. So instead of losing nothing, I still lost like 0.7 R. That's the kind of the downside of seeing if the market's going to give you the trade or not. And it looks like it was just targeting liquidity. There's tons of sellers over here. So it is what it is. Part of the risk. So yeah, cleared liquidity from this zone, played into this area. And now that that's gone, it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, my job's done here. How did everyone, if anyone did take natural gas, how did the news trade your setup? Wow. Just, yeah, ate that up. So it looks like there wasn't really demand there. Maybe this turns into a different setup later. All right, let's see. What's good, chat? Sound is still coming in and out. Really? Blew through my break-even stop and lost 1770. Oh, 170. Okay. What's 170 for you? Was that like half hour-ish? Maybe a little more. Sound should be good. I shouldn't have any issues with sound. Yeah, top stuff kind of sucking right now. So on that side of things, yeah, kind of shit. Let's see. Maybe NQ makes up for all of it. So let me refine this and then go from there. So we saw these sellers dropping here. This induced tons of sellers into it, which is why now we're kind of basically eating this up here. So I do think we end up taking this high. So if you wanted to have a conservative exit above these highs, makes sense. Drop an NQ in the chat if you took an NQ buy with me. And Naz buys with you. What's up, CJ? Sound is good. Sweet. Got in lower with too much risk. Didn't have time to calculate. So I actually want to what's the word I'm looking for? Give it a different perspective. That should be what you have the most time for. Your risk is what you need to make time for. That's not like, I wouldn't rush into the market and then miscalculate risk. If you know you're going to go in under leverage for sure, then cool, do that. Throw a micro on there or something. But I wouldn't just like, oh no, I'm going to miss this trade. Let me just throw whatever at it. That just frame of thinking, I think, is not going to help you long term. So didn't have time to calculate. Yeah, no, make the time to calculate, even if it means you missed the trade. But otherwise, you end up paying the consequences differently. Nas is going great for me, though, and I did say I had a silver after mitigation. This is great. Nice, good eyes. Peso's in a sell zone again. Oh, is it already there? Let's go. We're getting a lot of opportunities today. All right, 6M. If you guys are noticing, I'm able to take a position, not take a position. I adapt to what the market gives me. We move to stop loss quickly if we need to. We stay in and out. We're just responding to what the market's giving us. Let it run until New York opens. That's a good idea. I just heard the door squeak. Did you guys hear Maya too? All right, yeah. So this is in my zone for peso buys. The first, I'm going half risk with where it's at right now, and then if it gets lower, I'm going in again with the second half of my risk. So yeah, let's go Mexican peso. So just double checking this here. All right. So right now, basically, and this chart I already had ready, which is why this is not like, oh, new trade, and we're scrambling. Like, okay, this one was already, I had marked this up and sent this out. Okay, so I took my first half of my risk right now. Mexican peso. So first in here. And that's because we are playing a combination of things. A mitigation buy and an order block, and then playing out of the order block here. So there's kind of two things at once. There's a decent chance that the market plays out of here and doesn't want to go lower, doesn't want to trade the imbalance, which is why I took this now. And then there's a chance that it does dip a little bit lower. And if it does dip lower, perfect, then I'm able to take the second half of my risk down here. So right now in there, right around entry. Sweet. NASDAQ is getting closer to taking out the highs here. This would be giving us our, right now you're sitting at around a 3R. If you're a 3R trader, you're good. Take profit. You already hit 2Rs and 3Rs. If you are based on technicals and likely you're looking for key liquidity areas, then this is where we had, the break, retest sellers are lured into this. So the market clearing this high is a key example of taking out liquidity there. Okay. So, yeah, holding out. One thing that I do want you guys to notice is the price action. So price action right now is moving really nicely with Dow. Like I mentioned, Dow, I said earlier, Dow, but originally I was thinking, okay, maybe we see Dow drop and then NASDAQ, and they kind of meet in the middle somewhere. But then when I brought up the fact that Dow has been way less bullish just the whole week, NASDAQ already, making higher highs while Dow is still nowhere near it. That's when I brought up what is going to happen, in my opinion, was that this was going to be the perfect excuse for Dow to basically rebalance for the week, and then that will allow NASDAQ to trade back up and rebalance as well. So as of right now, it looks like the drop, we totally just nailed it. The intention was to sweep liquidity, rebalance over here. This was we saw low demand over here. The market did the typical break and retest over here as well. So we play by play this entire NASDAQ setup and what Dow was going to look to do on the higher time frame. So this is looking solid, super solid. Okay. And Q clearing the retest sellers, so the sellers that are brought into the game there. Fantastic. This is now bringing Dow towards a little bit of traffic here. We saw support this is a key, higher low as well there. So we're seeing multiple things happen now. Our trade is now sitting at a 4R. So if you wanted to take some profit, you're approaching, I'd say, like just kind of key reversal zones. So if you wanted to go, this is conservative, high probability exits, I think this is a good place to do that. Obviously, we are seeing signs that, maybe the market wants to come back to near New York Open today on NQ. So we can zoom out a little bit. And if you're looking here, the market rebalanced. It's pushing forward. It is now where we've seen support. So like I said, this is an area where there is a chance of reversals. So if you're someone that's like, hey, I would rather just, lock in my money, call it a good day, had a good trade, then definitely do that. There's no downside to doing that. So look at that right now. Starting to lose a little bit of momentum. Expected, right? Expected to lose momentum like that. YM alert. What is that? Okay, yeah, same thing. It's perfect. And one thing that I want you guys to notice, between both of these, NASDAQ and Dow is clearly just way more bullish right now. Just significantly way more bullish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my profit on NQ. I like what we have right now. Could we keep going higher? For sure. I think we definitely could. But we're up enough where I feel happy about what we have. So going to go ahead and take this. And then, so that ends up being read under a 4R for me for the exit. I totally could see us going even higher. But I also, since NASDAQ isn't pushing as aggressively as Dow, I could see us lose some steam. And yeah, if we need to take another trade later, if we have a different opportunity, cool, we could do that. Otherwise, just look at the difference in how prices moved here. Since this low, this was the low, 926. We saw price just, work its way up. Got a nice 60, 70 points to the upside. Meanwhile, Dow ripped about 120. So we saw it already clear those previous highs a lot faster, push up a lot faster. We might get some of those pullbacks. So if that's the case, then yeah, maybe there's a different trade later on. It's worth noting that post New York Open on Dow, we do see this sell-off right there that lures in. This definitely lures in sellers, and then it all goes. So I think we could get an idea in here sometime, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, with that being said, my exit was, I wouldn't even say that conservative. It was still basically right around a 4R, 3.69 classic. If you know, you know. 369 Nikola Tesla. That wasn't the reason. I do think we can get up to here at some point. I just don't know if it's gonna bring us back down before we get over there. And honestly, I don't really feel like, considering that we got slipped a little and a couple, break-even setups today, I'm good. I like just locking in, because what's guaranteed right now is what you have right now. That's the only guarantee. Everything else is just potential. So cool with that. And then let me know who's going to ride this out, who's going to take profit. NQ. Lots of people in it. Drop some W's if you took profit on this, or if you're in profit. Let it run. What's up, Turco? Closed NAS as well. Made a bit more than 3R, but was at half risk because I originally calculated at a higher entry. Lo voy a dejar correr? Yeah, sure. Hey, you know your plan. So if you are going to let the trade run, or if you are closing your trade, think at just the motive behind it, right? The why behind it. For me, it's a reversal zone. So instead of kind of dealing with the pullbacks and everything else, I'm like, all right, I'm good on taking this. Meanwhile, let's get an update on our peso trade. Bounce. We got a good bounce. Nice. So half risk is up at the moment. So this is a half. Technically, it's a half R instead of a 1 R because I only risked half. But it is up about 0.55 R. So I'll set a couple of alerts. If at here we would be at a 1 R. Over here we'd be at 2 R. But I'm only in with half. So, and then key targets for me would be clearing liquidity up here, pushing into a 3R range, and then we still have even over here, like when we got our higher highs and we started to establish demand throughout London session and up into this range. This left a lot of liquidity. A part of me was like, are we really going to see this bounce? Like, are we really going to get another entry, like back to back to back? We had mitigation here, mitigation here, mitigation here. It was like, this is getting a little redundant. Nas re-entries? Maybe. Either way, like, I think you guys can ride this out to here. I see it. You know, you had the sell-off there and then the setup. I think it'll depend on how Dow would move. I think that's kind of what that would be my perspective. I would want to see if we do work our way down, are we going to get a bounce? Because basically Dow would have to trade out of here too. So yeah, I would look at both. But now this might y'all might have this. If those of you that are going to let this rip a little further, I could see it. Also still holding USDJPY. I got stopped out in profit, actually, unfortunately, sadly enough. Yeah, I got stopped out in profit. But my thoughts on it either way, I still like the idea. Let me see. Let me, before I tell you. Yeah, I had my stop right there. So it looks like the market just took out these liquidity here. And then it didn't want to trade down here at all. It came right back. So you see how it came down and up? Not usually a good sign. Usually not a good sign. Yeah. Basically, the market used these other reversal zones as that's it, really. If this comes right back down, Karen, if we see this come right back down and it doesn't really stay above these highs either, then this might be good. You might be able to last. This might be able to continue pushing. So with my stop loss management, I still got something out of this. I ended up making more on my futures for the prop firms. It just closed me out than on my CFDs because I ended up getting a stop profit a little bit higher. But it looks like this may not last. So if this kind of comes right back down, then yeah, you should be in business to continue to work this down. TP, como tú dices, más agradecido. Hey, that's just my exit. You don't have to do exactly what I do. I'm just here telling you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and why I think the way that I think. That's really it. Oh, guys, for those of you that have been ordering from the new collection, let me know what you think. How are you guys liking the shirts? How are you guys? I know the hats were shipped yesterday. So actually, I'll double check that, but should have been shipped yesterday. So you guys should be seeing that by this week and next week. You guys should be getting those. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about the collection, how it's fitting, if you like the style, what else you guys would want to see. We have 4 collections. The next 4 collections basically already mapped out as well. Different seasons, different reasons. Didn't take NQ, but I did take Mexican. Sick. Look at this. NASDAQ now price action flipping a bit more bearish. We're seeing higher highs. Nice. If you held through, if you literally just held for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes longer than I did, then you're still rocking this one. Fire. Okay. Let's go back to the peso. Bags for laptops. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, that's different. That makes sense. Traders, laptops. Why didn't I think of that? Don't know how much demand there's going to be for that, but that is a cool idea. How y'all feel about mugs? What's the mug energy? So for trade management purposes here, this here drops, bless you, 14 pips or so. I feel like, I know it's like 140. Pesos are like ridiculous amount of volatility. Like the pip count is hilarious. So mitigation would be a little bit higher, but this does look like mitigation already. It doesn't look like it just kind of bounced off the order block. It looks like we're seeing quite a bit of a swap of money. So let's see where this rallies. Hoodies. Hoodies are in the future, for sure. Okay. So peso's looking good. Let me bring up a couple things here. Okay, so one thing I want to do before I go through a bit more and wrap up, I wanted to zoom out a little on this. So one thing that is interesting, and I don't know when the market's gonna come for this. But what I was noticing was how the market was kind of, we were seeing a bit of a trend line here. But at this point now, it kind of broke through it. So I guess that makes it okay. Yeah, we're just seeing it like trending through here. Where was it? Maybe it was through here. Actually, this might not have been what I thought it was. Kind of. Yeah, so we were seeing kind of the bounce, but now this broke through the trend line. So, yeah, I guess that kind of takes care of that. All right, cool. So, at the moment, I think we continue. Like, this should be able to do its thing. I'm not break even yet, even though I kind of feel like we could go break even to play out of the order block. I already played out of that really nicely. Which this is another trade management idea that you could have. So when you trade out of an order block like this, then this trade you could go break even, and let's say it were to go back down. So now you would lose nothing on this trade, and then you can introduce your full risk if it didn't mitigate. So okay, let's say you have the order block entry out of mitigation, which is what we have right now. Then you get the reversal. So you get a good reversal, but not quite the full, like the mitigation and the exchange from sellers to buyers. You just get a good bounce. Great. And then you could go break even on the order block entry, especially if it's sniped the way that we got it. If it were to come back down, if this were to come back down and it didn't fully mitigate, so then technically the buy is still valid, well then this is where I would go break even. And if it were to take me out break even, it would be valid to introduce now my risk fully, my 1R, at the lower entry. And then take that. But if from here the market goes further and it does mitigate, let's say it doesn't hit TP, but it does, go further out, you can tell, okay, yep, the swap from sellers to buyers went down. So then your stops are break even. And then it comes down. Well, since it already mitigated, then that's when I would not take any new entries. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So a couple more things here. I know I sent this yesterday. So let me just go ahead and send this again here in the ideas section. Oil still pending. So we have Mexican peso 6M here active. And then we have, I guess I should just keep track of the trades that we had here. So for example, our exit was somewhere, it was like right around there. So here was TP. You guys learning something? Y'all hit some profits today? Let us know. Drop your wins in the chat. We had that set up. We had earlier as well. Nice peso pushing. We had the silver break even. Was it this one right there? So we had this one. This one was so quick. We took a lot of trades today. And then natural gas as well. Which ended up, hold on. So then we had this also. This one, we sniped this one. Not that it ended up meaning anything, because it slipped us out with even though it should have been break even. So we saw 1.7 R and then ended up getting slipped beyond break even. Break even. But slippage. Okay. Got you, Anita. Got you, David. Anita, I messaged you back, by the way. You had asked me, I believe, about the syndicate. Okay. All right. That just about does it for everything that we did today. USD JPY here. Looks like it wanted to just play into this, and then looks like it's dropping. So, yeah, Karen, I think your trade can continue. I don't have a new entry there. USD CHF. The disrespect here. Crazy. Didn't trigger us in, then ran. I don't know if futures did this, if it mitigated or not either. Nah, not really. All right, so it's still valid. We'll get there eventually. USD CAD, no setup for me yet. And then same thing goes with basically everything else. Euro, swept liquidity nicely. Australian, maybe something later. No good setups here. Nothing else to add to it. Really only trade right now I'm running is Mexican peso. For the short. Active. And then crypto-wise, Bitcoin bouncing off after it cleared all the consolidation. Looks like it's taking another move. Might keep going. This might just keep pushing. And let's see. I think that's where we'll call it. Whoa. Let's go. Delta stock. Let's go. Pumping. Who's holding this bad boy? Picked up some Delta. It was actually early on in the Tradetopia. It was like right around when I think right around when we launched this publicly. There was a Delta chart here somewhere. Actually, I think I can just look for it. Either Delta, yeah, Delta stock, March. We were waiting for entries around there. Let's see here. We got entries well below that area. Yeah, right in here for buys. So the entry really that I was looking for was around 40. Got well below that, and now we are up. So here, about 37%. Nice. This is, if you want conservative exits, right around where you see this previous structure point. This is where you could definitely get some nice exits on this. A little 37% gain. Can't be mad about it. Let's see. I don't know if it was Greg that picked some of this up. End the week after Dow lost yesterday. Why? $6M pushing. Sweet. There you go. Yeah, Mexican peso mitigating. All right. So if you are on the conservative side with stocks, if you're more so, I wouldn't call it trading them, but you are taking profit with, you're getting 30% or more, 50%, 100% moves. Yeah, I think you're good. So, okay, this I would consider mitigation now. Clearly, we're seeing the market go in our favor. I'm only in at half risk, so not making nearly as much as I would have wanted to. But that was part of the plan anyways, so it's all good. Cool. No risk. Let it run. Gonna let this thing do its thing now. Dow Jones still pushing higher, and Q chopping. Great. So guys, I'm risk free with Mexican peso. Peloton. I know some of you made bank with us with Peloton. We got this at right under 3, and then we rode this up to like 10. So this was sick. Took out these highs right there. With the stock to make 400% in like 4 months is pretty lit. In anything, it doesn't really matter. Etsy recovering still, bouncing back. Very nice. If you didn't end up taking profit on Etsy, I think you'll have another opportunity here if it clears back up to 60. Tesla, chilling. Nike, our profit target was fire. It was so on point here on July 7th, so this Monday. And might have other opportunities get in here, but this was the partials. I took some partials here. And then for the losers of the day, Netflix is down. Or not Netflix, Net. This is good. I need this to drop a whole bunch. CRW, cybersecurity wise, I need this to drop a shit ton. Okay. Oh, Netflix is down. Let's see. Nothing's really... Oh, Chewy was another, right? That's what we wanted in the zone. So if anybody's looking for a hold for, a couple weeks, couple months, I think you have a decent opportunity with Chewy, and then just trading this back into, some of these gaps. This is an easy 20% or more. If that's your thing. Depends on what your goals are. Higher time frame, lower time frame. That just really depends. If you're looking for long-term holds, then pushing this up towards making well over 50, 60%, I think is in our future here. So it's another perspective there. Oh, you're up today and the week after Dow lost yesterday. Nice. Well done. Cool. Good stuff, guys. 2 hours on today. Hit the like button if you liked it. If you're here this long and you didn't like it, I don't know what that says about you. But, but yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. So we'll be back here tomorrow. Any wins, if you have any charts, breakthroughs, lessons, drop them in the Tradetopia community. And yeah, go ahead and share the channel with anyone who wants to learn how to trade, or anyone who's already trading and wants value for free.